do you think? Do all right? I played a lot of soccer growing up. I'm not making any apologies for it.
I played soccer too.
Yeah, were you any good?
Fullback. I was very good.
Yeah, I was a striker. I led our team to a 6-0 victory against a team that had won state for 5 years straight when I was 11 years old.
I just did it for the social aspect.
We
All
were
right,
awesome.
True or false? For a one-time fee of $70, you can help control the destiny of a football franchise. You'll be able to make real management decisions for a real professional team with real players on the field. If you said false, that's it. Just because it's a fantasy, you'd be wrong. An English soccer team is getting 26,000 online owners. It's nutty. Nutty.
Paying $70 a pop.
Paying $70, all of whom get a vote on who plays. All right, so joining us now on the phone is Roland Edwards, club secretary of Ebbsfleet United Football Club. And we're also joined by Betsy Burns, the female fan.
Hello,
all right, Rolly, first to you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Very well. Good evening.
Good evening.
It looks to me like you guys are basically doing sort of a private placement of a public company. You're basically going out and you're offering shares to 26,000 people out there, and they're going to be able to buy up the company.
Well, it's not exactly a share. It's just it's an interest, if you like. It's a one-off fee that lasts for a year, and you can renew that fee every year. So it's not really a share. It's a one-off fee that gives you an interest in the club. If you don't want to take that interest up the following year, you don't have to.
Now, Rolly, what happens if you get an activist investor, if you can put the quotes around activist investor, but what if you get a guy like Carl Icahn who comes out and rolls up, say, 10,000, Richard Branson, he rolls up 10,000 out of the 20, he goes buys 10,000 out of the guys who have already bought it, now he's got all the rights to buy it, to what the company's, what the coach is supposed to do.
You can't actually do that. It's a thing called a society that we have. Each member can only have one share, one interest, if you like. So there's no way that any one individual could take up a whole load of shares and take the thing over. It's not possible.
So, Rolly, how does my vote work? I pay $70, and can I control who's on the field, who's off the field? Do I control where the guys get to play? What does my vote get me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can. We're setting up a system whereby all the matches can be viewed on the internet. We've got a pro zone system that gives all the stats on the players, how many miles they've run in a game, how many shots they've had, how many passes they've made, and you can draw a conclusion from all that information and pick your team, and you'll be one amongst 27,000 that will be doing it.
Excellent. You know, let's bring in Betsy Burns, the super fan of the NFL. What's the actual title? What's the name of your book?
The Female Fan Guide to Pro Football.
There you go. Welcome to the show, Betsy.
Thank you.
You know, are you hearing some of this?
And by the way, this is American football that I write about.
I knew that, and we're gonna call it soccer because we're in America. Right. But I think our phone or guest is probably going to call it football. But we know what he means, right?
Right, exactly.
So I assume you still care about soccer.
Well, I care about all sports. My website is femalefan.com, and I cover everything.
Excellent.
You know, I see this as an interesting financial gimmick. I don't see how this at all translates into mainstream sports in the U.S. I can't see how this could possibly happen. But we have fantasy sports here, which I happen to do, and I love, and it's a great way to get into it. But what I think is relevant about this is that it is a way to get the online community part of the sport, which I do think is relevant for mainstream sports here, because it's all about trying to get more fans. I try to help corporate sponsors get more female fans, but it's all the same thing. It's online fans, female fans. It's anybody that could become a casual fan, from a casual fan to a hardcore fan.
But you know what the league that these guys are in is sort of like, say, AAA in professional baseball. And you know, you got the Albuquerque Dukes that don't have the biggest stadium and don't have a bunch of loyalty from the fans out there because, you know, well, they're a AAA for the Dodgers and just no passion for it. What about these guys using some of that to bring in the community, like you say, and actually generate more interest even here in the United States?
Oh, I think it's great to actually bring in the online community, but the questions I would have is what happens after a year when people, you know, the gimmick is up and they have to renew their membership for another year. Then it's a whole set of new fans, a whole set of new owners, you know, of the team. And
well, and how about that? What if you get a competing team that goes out and recruits 10,000 people and then they vote off your 3 best players out of the starting lineup?
That's a problem,
but Rolly, explain to us more on how the owner or the voter actually gets a say in what happens to the team.
Well, it's set up through the website. There are proper lines of communication between the website and the football club. Obviously, the head coach is fully involved with the process of picking the team. But people will, the members will be able to, as I said earlier, be able to look at the stats and decide upon themselves which team they think will be playing each week. I mean, it's captivated the people in the States. I mean, we've got 1,500 members, and there's a guy actually from Boston that's flown over twice already to watch games. So, you know, certainly there's quite a lot of interest from the US in our little club, but at Ebbsfleet. So, you know, I'm fairly certain that the same thing could be applied to, you know, sports at probably, well, not any level, but at probably a lower level in the United States, and not necessarily soccer either. You know, it could,
you know,
could be
there
adapted
could be
in other
something
areas.
to the fact that I have money invested. Seriously, right?
In what?
Just anything.
That you care more. Once
Yeah,
you put
because
money,
I
you've got a
spent
vested
$70.
interest in it.
Now all of a sudden, I should pay attention to what's going on.
You know what'll happen?
The
There's
Green
something
Bay
to be said
Packers
about
are
that.
a public team. They have shareholders.
So are the Boston Celtics.
Right,
But you know what'll end up happening if this actually catches momentum in the U.S.? They'll figure out some way. The mafia will get involved, and they'll figure out some way of like
It does not
settling
always
and
have
getting
to
the
come
game.
back to the mafia.
You're just defensive because you're Sicilian. Thank you, Betsy and Raleigh, for joining us. Betsy, we're going to see you again later for quick shots. You can be a smart aleck like me when you come back. We've got a lot
Don't make
more
fun of the
on
Sicilians,
tap.
Betsy.
I ain't scared of the Sicilians. I ain't scared of Lennox Lewis. Bring it on. I ain't scared of nobody. When Happy Hour returns, I'll take down anybody that wants me.